Hello everyone, this is Sherry. I'm here very glad to introduce you my work of research. My topic is focusing on how fashion designers could start up their own fashion brands. Because I know many fashion designers would like to have a brand with their own name. However, it is very hard to start a new business, especially in fashion industry. So I talked with some fashion designers to figure out what is the barrier stop them from set up a new brand. Here are some problems that I collected, and I think is the most considered by the fashion designers when they would like to start a new fashion business. First of all, many fashion brands at their co-start stage always lack of money. This is a common issue to all startup companies, but in fashion industry, this could be more tough to be solved. That is because in this mature industry, we do not have as much investors as the other industries, for example, the technology industry. Secondly, how to reach more clients. Usually we do showroom and participate in the trade shows. However, the COVID-19 make everything very difficult. Then about the customers, how to engage with customers. Are there any efficient ways to introduce your new brand to the final consumers? And how to make them loyalty to the new brand. So with these problems, I figured out some solutions. So here are 3 potential solutions that I think need furthermore research on it. And these are the main focus of my research. The first one is the digital showroom. The digital showroom is an innovative solution that lets brands and retail buyers to engage and sell products through an online platform. The second solution is the social community. Based on social media and brand's website, the social community is to build a virtual community with a group of people who shares the same interests or aesthetics. That definitely could be converted to the loyalty consumers to the brands. Finally, it's about the money issue. I think through the crowdfunding, the money issue could be solved. Crowdfunding is a practice of funding a project or company by raising small amounts of money from a large group of people, and especially nowadays through the internet. To complete my research, I will use 3 methodologies. First of all is the interviews. The interviews are used to define the problems that designers will have while they are setting up their own business. Secondly, I will use the case study focusing on the crowdfunding and also the digital showrooms. As I know that Shanghai Fashion Week has already used the virtual technologies as a part of their trade shows. And I will also find some other cases in the other industries about the crowdfunding. Finally, I will take a close look at the relationship of social media and the sales. I will use correlation and path analysis to see that to what extent the social media could contribute to the sales. In conclusion, the seeds of my research would be fashion designers can start up their fashion brands with crowdfunding, social community, and digital showrooms under a limited budget and lack of liquidity circumstances. That is all of my presentation. Thank you very much.